He woke to emptiness. Not the kind that greets you after a deep sleep, but a vast, echoing void where memories should be. Who was he? Where was he going? His mind offered no answers, only a deafening silence, a blank slate. He sat up, the world a blur of unfamiliar shapes and colors. A thin sheet covered him, the fabric rough against his skin. The room offered no clues. Bare white walls, a single window framing an unknown cityscape. He rose, legs unsteady, and moved to the window. The city sprawled beneath him, a chaotic tapestry of steel and glass reflecting the harsh morning sun. Cars crawled like ants, people specks of hurried movement. A profound sense of loneliness washed over him. He was adrift in a sea of faces, a nameless soul in a city that held no reflection of his own. He stepped onto the pavement, the city's noise washing over him like a tidal wave. The cacophony of car horns, distant sirens, and the murmur of 1,000 conversations was overwhelming. Yet, amidst the chaos, he felt utterly alone. Every face that passed was a stranger's face. Every building, every street corner held no echo of familiarity. He was a ghost, drifting through a world that didn't recognize him. He wandered aimlessly, each step a journey into the unknown. The sun climbed higher, casting long shadows that stretched and contorted with the movement of the city. His throat felt dry, his stomach empty, but hunger seemed a distant concern compared to the vast emptiness within him. The city, with its relentless energy and indifference, only amplified his sense of isolation. He was a man without a past, adrift in a present that held no anchor. He found himself at a crossroads, the city's relentless pulse swirling around him. Traffic lights blinked, their colors meaningless in the face of his uncertainty. He had no destination, no compass to guide him. It was then that he saw it, a weathered sign, its paint peeling, hanging precariously above a small cafe. The word "choose" was scrawled across it in bold, uneven letters. Choose. The word struck a chord within him, a flicker of something in the vast emptiness. He had no past, but he had a present. He had a choice to make. He could succumb to the fear, to the overwhelming sense of being lost. Or, he could embrace this blank slate, this chance to define himself, to create a life from the ashes of his forgotten past. As if summoned by his thoughts, a woman emerged from the cafe beneath the sign. Her dress, a vibrant scarlet, flowed around her like liquid fire. Her lips were painted a matching red, her eyes, dark and alluring, held a promise of excitement, of escape. She moved with an effortless grace, her laughter a melody that cut through the city's noise. He couldn't help but be drawn to her, to the vibrancy she exuded, a stark contrast to the emptiness he felt. She saw him watching and smiled, a slow, seductive curve of her lips. In that instant, he felt a spark, a flicker of hope. Perhaps she held the answer, the key to unlocking the mystery of his past, of filling the void within him. He stepped towards her, compelled by an invisible force, the word "choose" echoing in his mind. Was she the path he should take, the distraction he craved? He spent the day with her, caught in the whirlwind of her energy. She led him through bustling markets, filled with exotic sights and smells, and into dimly lit jazz bars, where the music pulsed like a heartbeat. She spoke of faraway lands, of adventures that made his head spin. Yet, as the day wore on, a nagging unease began to creep into his mind. He realized he knew nothing about her life beyond the carefully constructed facade. Her stories seemed rehearsed, her laughter a touch too loud. Her touch, though electrifying, held no real warmth. She was a distraction, a beautiful illusion masking a deeper emptiness. As the city lights flickered to life, he felt a growing sense of disillusionment. The woman in red, with her promises of escape, offered only a temporary reprieve from the task at hand, discovering who he was. He excused himself, leaving the woman in red sipping her drink, her smile faltering slightly as he disappeared into the crowd. The city streets, once a source of alienation, now seemed less daunting. He walked for hours, the city's rhythm slowly seeping into him. He began to notice the small details, the rough texture of a brick wall, the intricate patterns of fallen leaves, the way the sunlight glinted off a window pane. And as he walked, a sense of calm settled over him. He realized that the answers he sought were not to be found in external distractions, in the fleeting allure of a stranger's smile. They were within him, buried beneath the surface of his forgotten past. He had a choice to make. He could continue to chase shadows, or he could turn inward, listen to the quiet whispers of his soul, and begin the arduous yet ultimately rewarding journey of self-discovery. He stopped at a bridge, the city's lights shimmering on the water below. He took a deep breath, the cool night air filling his lungs. He didn't need to remember who he was to know that he was alive, that he was capable of feeling, of choosing his own path. The emptiness remained, but it no longer terrified him. It was a canvas, blank and vast, upon which he could paint his own future. He had a choice to make, a life to build, a self to discover. He turned away from the glittering cityscape and started walking, not with the aimless wanderings of a lost soul, but with the purposeful stride of a man embarking on a journey. He didn't know where the path would lead, but he felt a glimmer of hope, a sense of anticipation for the unknown that lay ahead. The journey wouldn't be easy, but it would be his.